welcome to Rooted in Wellness. Today we're doing podcast number 5. This one is about food, water, sleep, and movement, the 4 basics.
And kind of going off of what Andrea said, we're going to talk through some of these 4 essential things: food, water, sleep, and movement, with kind of referring to an energy bank account. So like Andrea said, oftentimes we're getting outside this time of the year, the sun's out, and we're like, yay. But this is a good way to kind of monitor our energy and kind of where our energy is going. So if you think of the energy bank account, you can kind of think of it as like a bank account, right? Like with deposits and withdrawals. So some things that we want to draw our attention to: what is depositing our energy bank account, specifically in regards to sleep, water, movement, and food. So one thing that I like to think about, especially because like getting up and going to the gym in the morning, some mornings, I want to be sure that I have water before coffee, because that's a deposit for me. Specifically, a double deposit if I add electrolytes to my water, because I know we all drink Element and really like Element, and that's a way to get me motivated, not just with my kind of vitamins and minerals, but also it has a little bit of flavor, and I know that I am doing something good for my body. And then, I can reward myself with coffee later. But if I were to have coffee before I had my water, it would be more of a energy withdrawal. It would boost my cortisol maybe early on in the morning, but mid-morning day, I would have a crash. And so it's important to kind of just pay attention to what is adding to or taking away from your energy bank account.
When you talked about the Element and how we all drink it, I know sometimes people don't want to spend money on that. So I know you can make your own electrolyte drink.
Yeah.
I've heard, I'm going to forget some of the ingredients, so like coconut water, what
Watermelon.
salt?
I think the salt needs to be just like good grade sea salt or
Yeah.
tropic
Okay.
salt.
Yes. And then I'm not sure what else. but-
Watermelon, they said.
And I know sometimes people say like they just don't like the taste of water. So if like just adding flavor is more motivating for you or more realistic, there are those like Mio packets at Kroger. They have all different flavors. They have some vitamins, minerals in them. In addition, kind of going off the motivation, like buying a water bottle that you like.
Mhm.
I know I have an
Something
Awala,
cutesy.
and I like that it closes. It also has a straw, or even just those fun like straw toppers are really convenient. I know a lot of people like those, and it's just a fun way to get your water in and not have to refill 10 times throughout the day.
Yeah.
So main idea is to just get it in however you can get it in. Do what you got to do to make it taste good. And yeah. So, okay. So water.
Next is food. Okay, so now that it's springtime, great time for fruits and vegetables. So you wanna be sure you're getting your whole foods in, lots of fruits and vegetables. Prioritize your protein, because that's going to help keep you full. So that's important. We've talked a lot about meal prepping before. That's something that is very successful for us, just to keep us everyone's really busy in life. So it's easier. We can grab that meal out of the fridge instead of ordering out for lunch every day, or dinner. That's what I struggle with, because at the end of a busy work day,
I don't want to cook.
I don't either.
No.
So it's just easy to have everything already made. And then you had talked about, when we were discussing this podcast, prioritizing a family meal.
Yeah.
That's something that you guys do every day. You can talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, it's just really important to kind of start the whole meal together. So like Enzo will do the salad. He's got a little cutting board and safe knife that he uses. Aiden kind of like, he likes to flip things on the skillet, which, takes a little longer. So it's not really fast or whatever, but it gets him in there. Eric and Evan, they're good at cooking whatever. And then we all sit down and we don't have any phones. We make sure to, we talk about what we did, and then we all clean up together too before they're allowed to like leave the dining room at all.
Yeah.
But I've noticed with the little kids, they are more likely to eat whatever they helped prepare. And then, that's great. They're eating, Enzo put like cucumbers and carrots and cilantro and just peppers, random things. Because he's like, look, it's colorful,
I love that.
Yeah.
And they're learning things too, like about food, about, preparing it. And then you're all sitting down intentionally together and having that quality time.
Right. Because, we're all scattered in 5 different ways.
Yeah.
And they learn different things that they like. Like Aiden doesn't like salad dressing that you can buy, so he'll squeeze lemon and then ask to put honey on it.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
likes it. And I'm like, that's
Yeah.
fine. You know?
Whatever works.
Yeah, that's nice.
So what would you say to someone who maybe didn't have like time for family meals every day, but like wanted to still incorporate it in their routine somehow?
Yeah, I would say dedicate at least 1 or 2 days to do it. I mean, obviously, do what you can. One's better than nothing.
Mhm.
And then it'll become a habit, which,
Mhm.
it's nice. And then you're going to be like, why aren't we doing it every day?
Mhm.
And then they'll ask you, like,
Yeah.
hey, I thought we were doing family dinners. And they'll hold you accountable.
Yeah. Nice. And then just the last thing I have is we posted all of those healthy healthy, smarter snack
Yeah.
choices. That kind of goes along with meal prep, having things that easy to grab instead of the bag of chips or the candy bar. So check those out. They're on our Instagram and Facebook pages for some good ideas.
And then the next one is sleep,
Mhm.
right? Yes.
Mhm.
That's a tough one.
I know. Sleep, I feel like because everybody is running around crazy and there's not enough time in the day, and we're also connected with our phones
Mhm.
and social media, you have to make a good routine that's going to help you get to the goal of sleeping because you just lay down. I mean, we might fall asleep
Yeah.
instantly, but as a kid, at least for my kids, they need like a good hour of
Mhm.
okay, once we're done cleaning, we're gonna go on a walk normally. And then we're gonna brush our teeth, we're gonna shower, we read. They like to read at least 2 books, and then we listen to like 2 songs. And we just kind of wind down like that. But everybody's sleep routine can be different.
Well, I love that you brought up your kids' bedtime routine because I knew we talked a little bit about how, like, as children, we all have a bedtime routine and a thing that we do to unwind and get ready for a good night's sleep. But then as adults, we oftentimes get rid of that, or maybe it's like the last thing on our to do
Yeah.
list.
Right. Or you're just like, cool, I have time to
Yes.
myself. Let me just scroll. And you
Mhm.
fall asleep doing that, which
Yeah.
isn't great quality sleep. But
Great.
yeah, so I think it's important to do whatever it works for you. Bath, skincare, red light therapy. I know you said a lot of people really enjoy that.
Reading instead of
Reading,
the phone.
Yeah.
Maybe-
Journaling, maybe.
Yeah. Trying not to have the screen at least an hour before bed, maybe 30 minutes.
I know too, like for me, I have to dim the lights. Like I can't have the bright lights and then go to bed. Like I have to have some sort of calm ambiance around me
Yeah.
in order for internally to be ready to go to bed.
Yeah.
Oh, another one real quick is trying not to eat too close to
Mhm.
bedtime or drink, I guess, if you
Yeah.
wake
Yeah.
up in the middle of the night. But
Yeah, no, that's true. Especially because, us or people who are busy, oftentimes, like when they get home, they get settled. Could be 8 o'clock by the time I eat my dinner, and then I plan to go to bed at 9. So, like being cognizant of that timing and having that meal prep already made helps me not have to spend time making food because that would push my mealtime back to like 9 p.m. some nights.
Yeah.
So,
and then if you take an hour to do a bedtime routine,
Right.
you're looking at 10 o'clock
yeah.
minimum.
It's like
Uh-huh.
set your bedtime and then work backwards and figure out
Yeah.
what time
Yeah.
you need to do what you need to have prepared.
That's true.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. So in our last one that we kind of wanted to talk about today was movement, which we are all huge on doing. We love moving together, but we recognize that movement can mean different things to everyone. So when we talk about movement today, we're talking about how to incorporate it even in, the days where you don't have 30 minutes to go for a walk. So some different movement trips. You might be able to just march in place for 15 seconds. That increases dopamine in the brain. It gets you back into your thinking brain and helps you stay focused. That could be something that you maybe do at work or on your lunch break. Another thing might be literally to stretch your arms over your head. That increases blood flow and oxygen up into your brain. I like that there's some neuroscience to kind of back those movements up because it can kind of seem silly, but then once you notice that you're feeling better, you can you're more likely to do it again. Another one, shoulder rolls, right? Like just this progressive shoulder roll can increase oxygen, helps get the blood flowing up into your brain. Those are just some quick things that you could do, for yourself at work, or you could share with if you have kids or nieces, nephews, you could share that with them. to help them at school. Different bodies need different types of movement to help them reset. Even unclenching your jaw. Like, I don't know how many times I notice my shoulders
Yeah.
and like I get like this and then I'm like, oh, like just the awareness of where my body is at any given moment and moving it accordingly can really be helpful. Some things that we've discussed are cardio versus like weight training, and not that it's like one or the other, but like different seasons require maybe different demands of us. I know for me, I'm currently really liking my weightlifting, not only because I can incorporate some of my PT exercises for my back, but also because I don't have to wash my hair as often. But a year ago, we were training for a half marathon, and we had different goals then. So really just tailoring your training and your movement based upon your goals and what works for you and your body, because you know it best. But even 2 to 3 minutes of movement can reset your nervous system. So I guess, our intention in kind of reminding you all of how important movement isn't necessarily because we want you out there walking even 30 minutes a day. We're just encouraging you to bring awareness to your body and the needs of it on a day-to-day, moment-to-moment basis, and how that can shift certain other things in your life. Some ideas for home and school. I know we just discussed a little bit, but walking meetings, right? Like, Andrea, I know your kids are homeschooled. Like, when it's time for you all to maybe still learn and engage in the content, but also, we're taking a lap around the neighborhood while we're discussing this.
Yeah. And it just, their brain shut off after a certain amount of time of just being like, we homeschool in this room right here, and they each have their own space, but it's a dining room. So, if we don't go outside, they're just like, going down on the ground or leaning back in the chair, messing with anything and everything. So I'm like, all right, we're going to pause. We're going to talk about, like, normally we'll read the story. And I'm like, cool, we're going to answer the questions while we walk, or while we jump on the trampoline if it's not nice. And they come back 20 minutes and they're like focused, refocused, I suppose. I'm the same way. I work from home and I sit in here. And I can't sit still for more than 20 minutes.
Yeah,
I'm like,
hard. It is.
I'm melting. I'm like, my brain hurts.
Yeah.
My eyes hurt. My head hurts.
We weren't meant to sit.
No.
Gotta get up and
like
down.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. His brother was like, sitting is the new smoking. I was like, oh gosh. It makes sense.
Yeah. And I think if like you're someone who has struggled with movement and stay consistent, like there's so many, I know you mentioned weightlifting and cardio, but there's so many different classes you can take or different forms of those things that like find whatever works for you.
Yeah. Like Mimi was talking about just doing standing marches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, even if it's not a designated 30 minutes or an hour, 2-minute brain breaks incorporated more frequently throughout your day. So like, just even if you don't have a job that you can really maybe escape from or even get outside, super often, or maybe you drive your car and travel and you just don't, like, maybe when you go stop at the gas station, you take 2 minutes and just shut everything off and just like refocus on maybe what's outside, right? Just looking around outside. I know another thing is stretching is huge, right? Stretching your body, making sure that you're not too tense or, progressive muscle relaxation. Like, those are all things that you can do sitting in your desk chair. You're not having, you're moving, right? You're intentionally moving your body, but you're not restricting where, how, the setting, the place, all of those things. So I think that's huge.
Yeah. And a little bit goes a long way.
Yes. And, kind of going with movement, I know sometimes we talk about apps on the podcast. Today we have a couple different apps that we've actually used, not just within our friend group, but also like maybe in our workplaces. The first one is called Step Up. It's a really awesome app that you can kind of track your steps specifically, but you can set a group goal. And so currently our group goal is 6,000 a day. And so, you can really like send encouraging messages to other friends on the app. I know, one of the apps has automatically tailored like a cheer, a nudge, and a taunt. So like you can click one and it'll automatically populate a message. And so we really have fun kind of sentences like couch potato alert and like just random things that are like, what? But also like, hope they're not having a bad day because I'm sending them some motivation. But you can really incorporate that with your friends. And again, we're all about community. So we like to involve people to help us hold us accountable. Another one is the How We Feel app. We've mentioned this one before. This one isn't necessarily strictly for movement, but it's again bringing awareness to how we feel and what maybe was happening around that time that made us feel that way. You have the option to share it with people that are, linked to the app as well, or in your network, you can add them to it. And that's a great way that you can track how you feel after your movement, or how you felt after that 2-minute brain break during, halfway through the afternoon at work. And they're all free. And then the last one is Stompers. This one's kind of funny, kind of silly. It's like literally like anytime you stomp around, you get points, and then it'll show like who's the head stomper. It's very similar to the Step Up app, but different kind of motives and ways to motivate the audience. So I think that that's really the 3 apps that we wanted to focus in on this month, specifically around movement, especially because a lot of you are getting outside more. And we also have a challenge coming up.
Yes, so April 15th, we're going to start a challenge. We'll try to get this posted a few days before so you guys can view it. But from the 15th to the end of the month, we'll have a calendar posted, and it will have different activities each day for you to participate in, and you can bring your family along. But the idea is to it might be movement focused one day, maybe the food. It's going to have one of those 4 basics that we talked about as like the theme of that day. So we'd love for you to join in and do that with us.
Yeah, and if you guys are out there, just DM us, tag us, let us know that you're doing those little challenges. We truly love doing anything with Rooted in Wellness. It is our day-to-day habit. So being able to, get the courage to do the podcast and make the Facebook page and try to get followers, we just don't know if anybody is enjoying it. I mean, we hope. So yeah, tag us, DM us. If you're not comfortable in tagging us, just somehow let us know you're out there doing it. And if you have any ideas for our next podcast, we're willing to, tailor a specific podcast. So let us know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, give us some feedback.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you may notice that our podcast this time was a couple of days later than anticipated, but we needed time for our basics, and so we waited a couple extra days. So we just kind of wanted to throw that out there that, we have this podcast and we're super motivated and passionate about it, but we also need to take care of ourselves and do what we do. So thank you for being flexible with us.
Yes.
Bye.